I am saying it is. Well, I'm not sure. It's quite possible, and there's a lot of scientific research to possibly, not to back it up because it's not proof yet, but there's a good theory that a virus is not something which invades the body externally to cause trouble. It's the result of trouble in the body, that it's created within a sick body. As a result of a breakdown in body chemistry, new chemical compounds are formed which get together with this little blob of life, this DNA molecule, and form an aberrant form of life, which they call a virus. Mm-hmm. So that virus doesn't necessarily cause disease as much as disease causes virus. It's an interesting theory.
You state, this is your theory?
No, this is a scientific theory that belongs actually in the realm of medicine rather than chiropractic.
This is a scientific theory that the virus is created within the body, yes, not from the outside.
Exactly. Don't quote me as saying this is an accepted theory. It's just a fairly new theory that a group of scientists at one of the universities are investigating.
I'm not quoting you. Yeah. You're saying it yourself, right?
But
here.
I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm not saying I accept the theory yet, but it seems to make a lot of sense to me, and I'm very anxiously watching the research to see what's going to happen.
Can we touch on headaches?
Sure.
I think I talked to you about this off the air. Yesterday, I had a terrible headache, and it was a sinus headache. I knew it, weather. And while I was on the air sitting here, I had a pretty good headache, and I asked Mickey if he would go out and bring in a couple of Alka-Seltzers. Mm-hmm. I took these Alka-Seltzers. It's gone, did not come back. Mm-hmm. Now, I would say that was a cure.
Oh, no, actually all you've done is drugged your system.
For how long?
I don't know, till the condition has gone away. Now,
you mean it would have gone away anyhow?
Of course it would. You mean it would have gone on forever?
No, it would have gone on for a good day.
Until the weather changed?
No, for a good day.
You blame the headache on the weather. If weather could cause headaches, everybody would have headaches every day, because there is weather every day. Well, the weather only affects sick people. It doesn't affect healthy people. So the weather here was the trigger mechanism. Very damp weather or some other condition of weather may affect your sinuses because your sinuses are not able to adapt. Mm-hmm. My sinuses adapt beautifully. So the same weather doesn't affect me.
Oh, and
I can't change the weather. But by golly, if we restore nerve supply to your sinuses so that they work better, wouldn't you be better off doing that than popping Alka-Seltzer every few days?
Dr. Gold, you are very convincing, honestly. I don't doubt that my audience, I'd say to a man, want to believe you. They'd love to believe this, that they could be well constantly, most people. And the doctors, medical doctors, would use this. I'm sure they would take a couple of years or a year at, what is that, Palmer?
Yes, that's one of the chiropractic colleges.
In Iowa?
Yeah.
They would take a year there as part of their course.
Well, they would take 4 years there in addition to their course.
Okay, whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Or they may cut down their course. I read recently in Parade magazine where some
Johns Hopkins has cut down to
medical teachers are thinking seriously that they shouldn't have to go to school so long to become a doctor.
True.
Because they're taking a lot of things that they really don't
not
need.
Related,
so,
yes,
they could use this time to study chiropractic. They truly want to heal people.
Except for one thing.
I have some medical friends. I mean, true friends that I know that are very sincere. Some that are real, true, what I believe as practicing Christians. And you know what a practicing Christian should be.
Right.
Full of love and compassion for his fellow man. Right. Now, he would want to help his fellow man.
If you know a medical doctor like that, and I can sit down and talk to him for an hour, I will guarantee you, if he's as open-minded and intelligent as you say, he'll be referring patients to a chiropractor the next day. This chiropractic philosophy is so logical, there is just no way to refute it. As a matter of fact, there's an organization just formed called the North American Academy of Manipulative Medicine, in which a group of medical doctors have gotten together to practice chiropractic and to teach each other chiropractic. The only problem is, for a medical doctor to accept the theory of chiropractic, he would have to give up 95% of his income-producing practice. We're dealing with an $80 billion a year drug industry. That's the enemy of chiropractic, not the dedicated medical doctor on the street. We are dealing with a gigantic planned attack on a healing art to destroy it by means of fraud. The entire medical attack on chiropractic is fraudulent. They don't believe it themselves. They're teaching each other how to adjust the spine. Patients go to a medical doctor after a whiplash injury and he makes a diagnosis of a pinched nerve. That same doctor will sit beside me in front of a microphone and say there's no such thing as a pinched nerve from a twisted spine. He'll diagnose it on his own patients and then deny publicly that such a thing exists. The attack on chiropractic is fraudulent and financial.
Here we have, let's forget it. You see, you put them all in one little, or one great big
No,
block.
I'm saying the
there.
organized attack. I'm talking about the
All right.
AMA with its organized
let's
attack.
talk about these poor fellas, and poor financially also, that are in research, and they work day after
Beautiful.
day, and they really want to heal people. They've heard your message. They've read your message.
This research is going on. It's being done at, I'm not going to mention the name of the universities. There are two universities, two very highly reputed science universities in the United States right now that are doing research on chiropractic, unbiased, not financed by the drug companies, as this so-called Stanford report was, which was done. That's a beautiful, unbiased research study paid for by the drug houses to say how valid is chiropractic. But there are two universities that are doing this study, and they're going to release their findings in probably another 2 or 3 years.
And do you have confidence in
Oh,
their...
100%. 100% confidence.
Gee, I
No
wish we
question.
can remember this, and you'll come back 2 or 3 years from now and say, Don,
Yes.
I must confess, or Don, I told you so.
Don, I have patients, so help me, this is the truth. I have patients who are medical doctors who tell their own patients that chiropractic is quackery.
And you have these medical doctors as patients?
Yep. They come into my office through the back door to get adjusted.
And
I
you
say,
adjust them?
What do you do with a sick man?
well-
Tell him to go home and die? No, we adjust them. We take care of them.
Let me make some breaks here. You mentioned medical doctors that come to you for treatment. This means that all human beings, or I would think all human beings, are concerned about their own welfare.
Right.
This would also include these people that are members of our legislative bodies,
Right.
in Congress, right?
Yes.
Supreme Court people,
Yes.
all of them, the President of the United States, all concerned. Some of these people must be aware of your message or the message of chiropractic. Would they not institute a massive, quick investigation
Oh, many
of
of
this
them
thing
have.
so that...
Many of them have. Remember that chiropractic now is licensed and regulated by almost every state, all except 2. Chiropractic education is paid for by the Veterans Administration. The U.S. Department of Immigration admits foreign students to study chiropractic in this country. Many senators, congressmen, and several past presidents of the United States have been chiropractic patients.
This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stopping the accusation that chiropractic is quackery.
Oh, but how do you stop it? How do you stop this
Well, you
multi-billion-dollar organization from attacking a competitive industry? And that's what this is.
multi-billion-dollar organization, I think, can be stopped by this, not selfishness, but the concern of a human being,
You know,
or many
the
human beings that are in the position.
Don, the Food and Drug Administration hasn't been able to stop them from selling thalidomide. Thalidomide is back on the market. Now, what more proof can there be of the tremendous power of these people? If aspirin were invented today and put on the market, the Food and Drug Administration would have to outlaw it as a dangerous drug. We can walk into any drugstore
Why
and...
would you say that?
Well, read the
this is a
reports
dangerous drug?
It is a dangerous drug.
It's dangerous if you misuse it.
No, if you use it, it's dangerous. Aspirin has but one purpose, to cut the nerve supply or to stop nerve messages getting through from injured parts to the brain. If you have a toothache, that aspirin doesn't go just to the tooth. It deadens every single nerve in your body, cutting down on the supply of vital life messages between the brain and every organ. People have died from one aspirin.
Do you know I have my own home remedy for colds? As soon as I notice the symptom, and I get some doozies. Once I let it go, I have a doozy. It goes from the head all the way down, see. But as soon as this business, I can't afford it. As soon as I notice the symptom, I immediately pop 2 aspirins. This doesn't happen often, but as soon as I notice the first symptom, I pop a couple aspirins, and I go to bed, and I get up the next day. If I still feel a little bit, I'll pop a couple of more, and I won't have that cold.
Well, may I suggest on this you ask the advice of your medical doctor, and he will tell you that aspirin has absolutely no beneficial effects whatsoever
I know
on the
this.
cold.
I-
Okay,
I know
so,
this.
as long as we
it
understand
works.
each other. But whether you think it works for you or not really is immaterial. The fact is, it's a dangerous drug. Even if it did work, it would be wrong to use it and knock a few more hours or a few
Is
more
it
days off
possible
your
that
life.
the aggravation of the cold could continue to aggravate, and you have a raw condition, and you...
There's only one good defense against the cold, and that's high resistance. And chiropractic care will guarantee
Do you
high
get colds,
resistance.
doctor?
Once in a great while. Now, my last cold, I had a cold this year, which is the first one in about 3 years. My body fought it off in about 48 hours.
In 48 hours.
That's fine. I can stand it for 48 hours. Rather than it dragging on for 3 or 4 weeks. And that same virus, which we're blaming for my cold, I pass on to somebody else, and he's sick for a month. And he says the virus did it.
That's
No,
an
the
outside
didn't
virus
do
for
it.
him.
The virus didn't do it. What did it was his lowered resistance, which made him so weak and run down that he couldn't fight it off.
Make a statement about headaches.
All right, I'll make the same one that I made off
Right.
the air. I have never yet seen a case of headaches that does not respond to chiropractic care. Let me qualify it by saying a headache is a symptom, not a condition. There are certain conceivable conditions in which this symptom may be caused by something chiropractic couldn't take care of. A brain tumor could produce headaches, or any other kind of tumor, in which case I would not recommend chiropractic as the treatment indicated. In fact, I don't recommend chiropractic as a treatment for anything.
You
I
say it's a preventative
every human
measure.
being, with headaches or without headaches,
Maintenance
should go
care.
to a chiropractor. Maintenance care. Yeah.
All right. You state that you haven't seen a headache that
That
wasn't
does not respond to chiropractic.
that has not responded
Right.
to chiropractic treatment.
Yes.
All right. Let's pick another disease. We talked about cancer. Here's one of the nerves: multiple sclerosis.
Right. I've had many cases who've come in, cases of MS that have come into the office, have received chiropractic care, and have showed marked improvement. Let me say this, however, about MS. It's a disease, and you happen to have picked a tricky one. It's a disease which, if you do nothing, will show marked improvement for periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
it's
you're not
sometimes-
claiming anything.
Right. It will sometimes return again. I'm not claiming to have proof positive. I have seen cases where it's cleared up 100% under chiropractic care and never come back. But I really don't have any proof that it wouldn't have done that anyway.
Well, you don't have that proof about anything.
No, true. So every patient who has MS or anything else, again, needs a good nerve supply. Every human being needs a good nerve supply. Somebody asked me...
You know what
earlier
MS
today-
is, of course.
Yeah, I know what
I mean,
MS is. Yeah, of course.
the problem that the
I'm well
it was
aware.
explained to me, the shielding on the
The
nerve.
sheath, the neural sheath breaks down, degenerates.
Mm-hmm. It's
But
like the
why?
insulation on wiring.
Yes, it degenerates.
All right, if
Except
it's
nobody
degenerated-
can explain why.
Okay, and if you receive chiropractic treatment, you're not going to put that
restoring-
insulation back
Oh, yes,
on, are
you
you?
are. You're restoring nerve supply. Now, where did the insulation come from in the first place? The body made it out of the food we ate. And if we can
That's
restore
part of
the
the
body
creation
to
of the
perfect
body.
That's right. And the body's constantly recreating itself out of our daily food. So this body can cure, frankly, anything. It creates living tissue. The cells that you have today, you will not have a year from now.
Mhm.
Your heart cells, which may be sick, are going to die and be replaced by new cells. But if the new cells come in as sick as the old ones, then you're not going anywhere.
Then if a person has a heart problem and he is under this maintenance care,
Well, if
you would
we
say
round
that it's possible that in a year from now, this with the new cells would come in healthy?
Without any doubt at all.
And he would have a
problem
healthy
could
heart?
correct itself. Absolutely. Oh, I've seen this so many times. Every chiropractor.
You have
sees
heart
this.
patients that come to you?
Of course. Of course.
I mean, real bad
I mean,
heart
real
conditions?
bad heart conditions where there is scar tissue, where people have had heart attacks, where there's cardiogram records, and they go back yearly for checkups to see how their cardiogram is doing, and there's a continued
You don't
improvement,
have an
continued
EKG
improvement.
machine of your
No,
own?
I don't use one. Some chiropractors do. I don't. I'd rather have all those checks made by the medical profession.
We're going to do is hear a message or two, and then we're going to break for NBC's emphasis. Following that, we'll allow you to question Dr. Gold. And if you have any questions for him, give us a call. Okay, we're back, and I must confess, I've never gone to a chiropractor. And I would say that you're one of the more interesting guests. And you probably are going to make a lot of converts tonight. And I don't know whether it's right or wrong. Maybe I'm aiding some quackery, but I think you're sincere, but whatever. Okay, Marilyn, I know you're getting telephone calls out there, so you can send them back. Heart condition. You state that you can help that. Would you say this?
So let me say this, Don, in answer to you. A body with a good nerve supply has to have its heart repair itself better than a body with a bad nerve supply. If I had a heart condition, I would immediately go to a chiropractor and get him to start correcting the cause of the problem.
Let us say this. Or let me ask you this. Darn it, you must have done some investigation of your own practice or
you
your
better
own
believe it.
your
Yes.
own field.
Yes.
Do you have any statistics on people that have been with chiropractic for many years, have had this maintenance care for many years, that has developed heart condition?
I don't know of any personally, but that could happen. As I said earlier, chiropractic is not the total answer. You could go to a chiropractor every week for life and live on coffee and Danish and booze and
Well, then
get no
you would
sleep,
say that,
and your body's going to be weak and run down anyway.
and then you believe in the proper nourishment for an
I
individual.
definitely believe in good food, good rest, good exercise. I believe in maintaining a good, strong, healthy body.
Okay, how about these people? You know, there are some people that are Overweight? You know, I
Yep.
have to buy a suit today. Oh, my. Do you believe in diets or chiropractic maintenance?
I believe in good eating, which is a little different from a diet.
Do you enjoy eating?
I love to eat.
Okay.
And I have to watch it. With me, it's definitely mind over platter. It has to be. I'm traveling around the country a great deal on the banquet circuit, and it's so easy to put it on. People offer you all these tempting desserts and great things that, to me, taste great because I'm a real food lover. And if I give in, I'm going to get fat. Not only am I going to get fat, I'm going to deny my body good nutrition. That's even more important. Unfortunately, the things that are bad for you somehow taste better. And because we've educated our minds that way, and you just ruin your taste buds. And if you let your educated mind decide what you eat, you may just well eat the wrong things all the way through.
So you have a patient that comes to you. Do you ever have these patients say, Doc, you've been taking care of me, but I'd like a diet of some sort. I want to lose weight. Can you help me?
All right. There are two aspects to this. First of all, if the excessive weight is glandular, and a certain amount of it is glandular, a very small amount, it's true, and this is the cop-out. Everybody who gets fat says, well, I have a sluggish thyroid. Most of the time, that's absolute nonsense. But if it is a glandular problem, then chiropractic care alone is the answer to restore nerve supply to the thyroid. If, however, they are doing what most people do, overeating. They're overeating because they're nervous, because they're tense. This is what people do when they have nothing to do. They get oral gratification by stuffing food. Chiropractic care will bring about a relaxation, a balance of the nervous system, so there will be less of a tendency to overstuff yourself. But if you're going to continue to overstuff yourself with chiropractic care, you're going to get
fat.
Yeah.
Okay, we have callers on the line. Good evening. Yes.
And Dr. Gold, I'd like to relate an experience that I had with chiropractic last year. I was working out in the yard. It was during the nice weather, and I worked hard, and I must have pinched a nerve in my shoulder blade, up in between my shoulder blades. Well, the pain was so bad at 3 o'clock in the morning that aspirin wouldn't help. So I went to one of the hospitals here in town, the emergency. And they gave me some medication for it, and that didn't help. I lost 3 days' work. I went to my own family doctor, medical doctor, and he gave me a muscle relaxant, and that didn't help. And finally, I was put on a Demerol, which is a highly strong pain reliever. And this just doped me up, and it didn't help me with the pain. So I was referred to a chiropractor here in town, and I went to him with hope, the last hope that he could help me. And in one adjustment, he did. I wish I had gone to him and got him out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning instead of going down to the emergency hospital.
Well, I wish you had too, and I'm sure he does. And I want to thank you for calling, but let me say one other thing on this. You were one of the lucky ones, in that the nerve that was pinched off in your case was a sensory nerve, so that immediately you felt pain.
Right.
Pity the poor guy who does the same thing, and instead of pinching off a nerve which is going to cause pain, pinches off a nerve going to the kidney or the heart or the liver or the spleen. He doesn't even know he's sick. It'll be 15 years before he gets his first symptom, and then it may be one of these terminal cases, because he left it too late.
Doctor, can I ask you a question?
Yes, indeed.
Do you smoke?
No, I don't.
Are you against it?
I am definitely against it. I used to smoke, and then I wised up.
I say, in other words, a healthy body could not ward off.
Well, let me say this. If I was going to be silly enough to smoke, I'd be smart enough to keep my body in tip-top condition to ward off those poisons to the best possible degree. But there's no point in poisoning your body. The fact that you're under chiropractic care doesn't excuse poisoning your body. I'm opposed to air pollution, water pollution, food pollution, lung pollution, blood pollution. I don't like injectables put into the bloodstream of healthy people. I'm just opposed to pollution in any way.
I see. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. Bye. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
You're on the air. Go ahead.
All right, I'd like to ask Dr. Gold about a situation that I had recently.
Would you turn your radio off? It's probably confusing you.
All right, just a moment, please.
Yes, we have the 4-second delay, and they hear
Well, I
their
won't listen to the radio. It's too far away right now. What I want to ask about is the fact. Can you hear that on your station?
No, go ahead.
I see. Well, I fell off of a ladder during the period that I was washing windows just recently. And what had happened to me was that I had developed a swelling, and I had no problem with any broken bones or anything. But instead, I created a swelling there that I thought I needed attention, and I went to an emergency, in the emergency room here at one of the hospitals, and they told me that I had cellitis.
I didn't hear what you said. They told you you had what?
Cellitis. The infection of the cells of the skin of the area of the injury.
I see.
Cellitis.
All right, go ahead.
Now, what I'm worried about is that I've had quite a few infections like this recently. Not particularly that had anything to do with the leg, but somewhere in the body. I had a tooth that had created a problem where my whole face swelled when I had it capped, when I had the tooth capped. I had a toenail fall off. I had blood tests, and there are no ways of detecting any of these situations. My blood is perfectly normal, yet I'm having these problems. Do you think that chiropractic could help that?
Yes, you know, you have come to chiropractic in just about the same condition that most other people do. When all else fails, you've tried the legitimate medical world, and you find that they haven't helped you. And I'm going to definitely suggest that you now go to a chiropractor, and I would ask you to do something for me. Since you have made this call into the radio station, when you are well and when your body is functioning properly and you don't have these conditions anymore, would you please call back Don some night, even when I'm not here, and just let him know what happened as a result of his broadcast, because he doesn't realize what a job he's doing here tonight in getting out to the people of this area a message that could save a tremendous amount of health and possibly life. Please get to a chiropractor and then call and let him know afterwards.
Yes. Can I ask you one question, though?
Yes.
Can you tell me what is actually cellitis?
There is no such thing. This is a phony diagnosis that somebody gave you to pacify you. There's no such thing as cellitis. This is not a recognized diagnostic term in any medical textbook or any chiropractic textbook. There just ain't no such animal. Let's get to a chiropractor and find the real cause of the problem.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for calling. Bye.
Thank you.
I'll tell you, when you make a statement, you jump in with both feet.
Oh, yeah, I stand by what I say.
You know what I'm waiting for now? I'm waiting for a doctor to call in with a medical book and say, cellitis, and tell us what it is. Would you explain this on the air?
All right.
Give us an education about cellitis, and I asked him, what does itis mean?
Yeah, the term itis on the end of any term means inflammation. Appendicitis, inflammation of the appendix. Stomatitis, inflammation of the mouth. Itis means inflammation. Now, the word cell, of course, is an English language word, and scientific language doesn't mix English and Latin. You wouldn't have an English word with a Latin ending. We don't say mouthitis. We say stomatitis because stoma is the Latin word for mouth. So in scientific language, either it's all Greek or it's all Latin or it's all English. They don't mix them up that way, fortunately.
Understand?
Oh, he might have. Yeah, that's what I say. He made up a word. Yes, he made up a word.
Cellitis, and that you have an inflammation of the cells.
Right. He made up a word to keep her happy.
Hello, Don.
Yes.
This is Max Huberman. How are you?
Hello, Max.
Of course, as you would imagine, I'm quite fascinated with the subject and the speaker.
I think the two of you would like each other.
Well, I do feel that he, and I might say you, are performing a public service in bringing this information to the public. My reason in calling was to add a bit of information that would be of interest to your speaker and the listening public, and that is that earlier in the program I heard your guest mention that we had dropped to, I believe he said 17th on the list in longevity among the leading nations.
No, that was just infant. That was just infant mortality. In longevity, it's even worse than that.
Well, I think then perhaps I want to be clear about that. On the question of longevity, we were, according to Dr. Gene Mayer, he is the special medical consultant to President Nixon, and I have a copy of his report. I just want to quote what he said, that the United States, among the countries reporting to the World Health Organization, has not increased its life expectancy in the past 25 years. It had been 11th on the list, and it has recently dropped to 37th. We're just about at the bottom of the heap.
Could you please give us the date of that report?
Oh, yes, I'll give you the date of that report. That was in a special report given to a group of food marketers and advertising executives by Dr. Gene Mayer. And this report was printed in total in the Supermarket News Monday, March 16th, 1970.
Beautiful.
And,
Max?
In the same talk, Dr. Mayer said something even more startling, and we must keep in mind that he is considered President Nixon's #1 advisor on medical matters and matters of nutrition. He also stated, and I quote him specifically, he said that all the medical advances in the United States in the past 25 years have been wiped out by the decline in nutrition in the American diet.
Now,
Max?
this is his statement, and of course he attributes it in great part to the replacement of simple foods by what is known as convenience foods.
Max.
Contain less nourishment. That's
Max.
the only thing I wanted to add to the information. Yes, excuse me.
Max, are you not feeling well?
I've been working very hard unloading a truck here. I feel great.
Well, you're usually very exuberant and much
I've
volume.
been going 16 hours, and if I didn't eat the proper diet, I don't think I could do it.
Tell him, baby.
So this is the name of the game, and if our guest is going to be in town, he can join us for our usual 5-mile run tomorrow morning, and then stop at our headquarters in Boardman at the health food store, and we'll fill him up with some organic carrot juice.
Gee, you make this sound tempting. Unfortunately, I'm going to be in Chicago tomorrow morning.
Well, you have my...
Well, now the next one may be even harder for you to answer. I know a young lady who has MS. Several years ago, when she could still walk, she took her savings, her life savings, and went out west to a chiropractic hospital. And she come home in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened there?
I have no idea, except that you know that this is the normal course of MS patients.
Yeah,
If nothing
but I
is
thought
done.
they were going to help her
Well,
out.
you know, a chiropractor wants to help every single human being. But that doesn't mean we can stop every disease process dead in its tracks. It can't be done. I wish we could. I'd love to give you miracles, but there just is no such thing. What we have to do is take that body as it is and try and restore it to the best health of which it is capable. And not every human being has the capacity or the ability left to fight back and recover. There are going to be a lot of people listening to my program, or to this program, who are going to go to chiropractors full of hope that they're going to get 100% cures. Some may get 100% cures. Some may get 50% cures. Some may only get 5% cures, and some may continue to get worse. We hope we can keep down the number of those that don't get better by getting them to chiropractors early enough. Delay is the big killer. And this is where I take issue with the American Medical Association and medical doctors all over that are keeping people away from chiropractors until it's too late. And then they come to us as a last resort when if they'd come 5, 10, 15 years earlier, perhaps the thing could have been helped.
Well, now, what did you say about virus? The reason I asked that, one of my sisters just brought me a clipping out from the Vindicator, and it says that they have found a vaccine that works wonders with,
Multiple sclerosis.
in animals.
Right.
But, of course, that doesn't mean it'll work on people. Now, if it is a virus, what hope do we have?
Gee, I don't know. There certainly is no proof of any kind, to my knowledge, that it is a virus. This is just one theory that's being investigated.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, you know, we must explore every single avenue of investigation on all of these conditions in the hope that the answer, the total answer, can be found quickly, particularly the cures that you and many others are looking for.
Well,
but what I'm more concerned with is prevention, and that's where chiropractic comes in.
we're just nasty people. That's probably good at it.
Okay, Fu.
Okay, good night.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. I did read the same article that he read, and in this article they state, as he stated, that they have used this on animals and have had wonderful results of restoration to the animal that had MS. And now they're going to go and try to see if it'll work on
The
humans.
question always is how much help for how much side effects. There will be side effects. There are always side effects.
Well-
now it's a matter of is the price we pay worth it? And it may well be.
With MS, it
With
probably
MS.
would be.
It could be, but you know, if you make the man feel better for 3 years and then he dies 5 years earlier than he would have otherwise, has it been worth it? And I'm not saying that will happen, but if it did, what are the side effects, in other words?
You believe that doctors and chiropractors, there's a place for both.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Sir Smith, Dr. Gold?
Yes, indeed.
That's actually a question. I've gone to the doctor, and I have an eye infection, you know?
Yes.
And he called it a mild blood stroke. I wonder, should I see a chiropractor, so I still go to the doctor.
Well, you're going to be a little disappointed in your answer because I'm not going to relate to your condition. I'm going to say that certainly you should go to a chiropractor if you have any kind of a condition or even if you don't have a condition. I think that your health must improve if you get a good nerve supply. And there is a good chance that with a good nerve supply, your body now will be able to start to repair this thing. And even more
I don't have
important,
much vision in the eye, you know.
right, what's even more important is that if you don't do anything about what caused it, there's a chance it will continue to get worse. And even though chiropractic certainly doesn't guarantee you a cure, I think it's very important that we take steps now to stop it from getting worse. And chiropractic care must take a large part in that. A good nerve supply must improve your overall health, including the health of your eyes.
So you think I should see a chiropractor
Very definitely, yes.
for this eye infection?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think that party stated for this eye infection.
Yes.
You're saying see a chiropractor, period.
For your general health. Now, the eye is a part of the body, and as we improve the condition of the body, we are improving the condition of the eyes. We're raising...
You're not suggesting that this party stop seeing the eye doctor.
I don't know. I'm not suggesting that because I haven't seen the patient, so I'm not suggesting anything other than go see a chiropractor. I think we discussed last time I was on the air here that I was absent the day they taught telephone diagnosis, and I just won't diagnose or treat or recommend.
Well, our MDs that appear on this program will always state this, that they would not diagnose by telephone. Hello,
Hello,
you're on the air.
Don.
Yes,
Can I ask the doctor a question, please?
you can, but you may not.
I think that rheumatoid arthritis would be good. I mean, will help it if I would go to the chiropractor.
Unquestionably, yes.
It would?
Without any doubt whatsoever, you should definitely go to a chiropractor if you have any form of arthritis, in spite of what the Arthritis Foundation says. You know, the Arthritis Foundation is run by the American Medical Association.
Yes.
They made an interesting statement. They said there is no cure for arthritis.
No, I know. I had an arthritis several years.
They then go on to say when one is
Cortisone
found...
and everything else, and I still won't.
Well, let me say this about cortisone first. Cortisone is manufactured by your body. And one of the things a chiropractor might be able to do for you is to enable your body to start producing its own cortisone again in the proper quantity and quality. And if then your body heals itself of arthritis, you will undoubtedly want to give the credit to the chiropractor, although it will be your body that actually heals it. But I would say definitely chiropractic care is needed.
Could you recommend me someone off the air?
No, I'm new to this area. I don't know anybody in this area. I assume there is a County Chiropractic Society, and if you were to call them, their number is probably in the telephone book, they would be very happy to refer you to somebody close to your home.
Thank you very much, Dr.
You're more than welcome.
Bye. Good evening.
Mr. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Russell?
Oh, yes, Nick. Yes.
I am on tonight. I like to ask Mr. Gold something.
Ask him, but don't tell him how to treat people.
No, see, I don't bother him.
Go ahead, Nick.
See, I know how to act.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah. Mr. Gold,
Yes.
my name is Nick Comsa, and I'm glad you're on the program, and I know chiropractor could help people very much.
Thank you.
If I would have had you 8 years ago, I would have had the legs.
Uh-huh.
See, I fall, and in falling, when I went to bed, I didn't get up, and so they called a doctor. And of course, took me to hospital, and, I couldn't stand up at all because I had a crash fall on ice. And he started to treat me for arthritis, not for arthritis, but for diabetic.
This is the medical doctor you went to?
To a doctor, a medical doctor.
Right. Uh-huh.
And he tried me for diabetic.
Yeah.
And so, next day when he came in at the hospital, I couldn't stand or go even for myself or anything. And the girl that tests my urine, she said to me, sit down. I was laying down. He said, now you take this and drops in this tube.
Yeah.
And put the pill in it. You don't have diabetes. And so the doctor, when he came, the girl told her he don't have diabetes because it proved that he doesn't have it.
And so, you know, he tried, and he treated me that way, and I told him, you know, to get a chiropractor, get a bone setter, or get somebody to take care of me. And so he didn't. And see, when I come out of the hospital, went to his office, of course, you know, they have a clinic, and they x-ray my body, and, you know, down up there at my joints, you know, it was all cloudy. He said, you have arthritis. I said, I can't have no arthritis. I always took care of myself very good. And I said, I need a bone setter. Well, bone setter is dead. Why, my God, got to be other people, who chiropractor, anybody, to straighten my joints. I waited 3 years, 2 months, and 14 days till I had my kneecap on the left leg placed on by myself. That's right. That's how it goes.
Okay,
The
Nick.
doctor,
Thank you.
He would not get a chiropractor or a bone setter when he gets a customer in his hands.
Yeah, unfortunately, what you say is true. And,
I lose 2 legs out of it.
well, I hope because of your telephone call, other people will now know not to wait for 3
Well,
years.
that's right, because see, a bone setter, he could set the ligaments in place and save your trouble.
Okay, Nick, thank you. I gotta move. Bye. Are you considered a bone setter?
No, a bone setter was an old profession in Europe many, many years ago. There's no such thing as a bone setter today.
Wasn't the old osteopath...
Both osteopathy and chiropractic grew out of the old profession of bone setting. They both have a relationship, really.
I remember an osteopath years ago when I was a very small youngster. I'm just 23, but it was years ago. He would press a button, it seems, and man, whatever was wrong would seem to straighten out.
He was probably practicing chiropractic.
And he was an osteopath.
Yeah, but practicing chiropractic. Most of them practice either chiropractic or medicine. Osteopathy as a science really hasn't been practiced for the last 40 years.
I remember an older boy picked me up and swung me around on the street corner there, you know, airplane ride, and banged me up against a telephone pole that was there. And then the leg pulled up tight and I couldn't open the knee. And I was taken to this osteopath, and he didn't give medicine at that time, and he pressed something in my back
And straighten out.
and the leg flew right out.
That's definitely chiropractic that he was practicing, not osteopathy.
Well, this is all he did.
Yeah.
He didn't give medicine as they do today.
Most osteopaths practice either chiropractic or medicine or both.
All right.
Don,
Yes.
could I speak to the doctor?
Yes, he's listening. Go ahead.
Doctor, when I fell down the flight of steps this January, and it affected my eyes. And my eyes are blurry, I can't read or nothing. And I've been to specialists in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Columbus, and they said there's nothing can be done. And there's one doctor said there's something can be done, and he was going to take the case. And then when I told him I was a diabetic, he says no, nothing can be done. Could a chiropractor help me?
Well, certainly, if you fell down the stairs, the chances are 1,000 to 1 that you knocked out of place at least one or more of those vertebrae in the spine. Now, if the visual problem occurred right after that, it sounds reasonable to suppose they might be connected. There's a very good chance that in knocking the spine out of alignment by that fall, you pinched off certain nerves and have caused this problem. If that's true, then a chiropractor, in restoring those bones, freeing the nerves, will give your body a chance to work properly again and allow your vision to be restored. Incidentally, he might also be able to help the diabetes.
And what about circulation? See, when I got one leg and one arm.
Well, that's probably an impairment from the diabetes or from the insulin all these years. That's another drug which, while it's saving life,
Well, they
has
said
side effects.
they said that I had good circulation, that it was from the accident when I lost my leg.
Well, again, you know, I can't give you any definitive answers without a perfect case history, but I would say this: if I were in your situation, I would get off to a chiropractor immediately without any delay, because there is no doubt that you, in falling down those stairs, you did some damage. Perhaps that damage can now be repaired, and a chiropractor apparently is the man to do it.
Well, I'm going to be up
up around your neck of the woods. I'm going to stop in and see you.
Well, I'm not soliciting patients, and I would suggest you not wait until you come up to my neck of the woods, but find somebody close to your home and get started on this thing immediately. Delay is the enemy. Don't wait.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye. You mentioned insulin, that there are side effects from that.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't your body manufacture insulin if everything is operating properly?
Yes, your body manufactures insulin in exactly the right quality and quantity. No diabetic gets the right quantity of insulin.
Well, after experimenting...
No, he gets approximately the right quantity, but he gets it all at one time, so that he gets an immediate overdose, which is gradually used up through the day, so that as time goes on, he has less and less and less of an overdose, till he reaches the optimum point where his body has enough. Then he immediately has an underdose for the next few hours, till he takes his next shot. Artificial insulin can never be...
Do medical doctors say that this is true?
I never asked them. It's so patently obvious, I wouldn't even waste my time.
Okay, let's... Oh, before we continue, I did want to say this. The fellow that brought you in the last time, Danny Vassell, he's a student in my Sunday school class when he's in town and not away at college. This young man shot a deer. Now, could you say that this young man has compassion? He's going to be listening to this.
Yeah, I eat steaks. I actually don't hunt, but I eat steaks and I know where they come from.
Yeah.
So I think these animals are put here.
But could you imagine, he and his younger brother, 15, both got deer the same day?
Maybe somebody up there likes them.
Somebody up there likes them. Okay.
Oh, I've been on there for 15, 20 minutes. He's told me to hang on.
You're on the air right now.
Oh, I am.
Yes. Are you listening to your radio?
Yes, I sure am.
Turn it off, would you please?
Turn it off?
Right, because it would confuse you.
Okay, I'll turn it off.
Right. Dr. Gold is our guest from Spring Valley, New York. Dr. Gold is a, I guess, nationally, possibly internationally known chiropractor. I think he likes speaking better than bone cracking.
You said the horrible word. No, I love practicing more than anything.
All right.
Turn it off.
You're on. Go ahead.
On?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Gold.
Yes.
I want to commend the chiropractor doctors because I was up at the Clean Clinic for, it's been about 15 years ago. And I went through a lot of medical doctors here in Youngstown. And, they couldn't figure out what was wrong. So I went up to the clinic. And after I was up there, they told me they would operate, but I'd either be paralyzed or I'd be well. So I decided that 50%, why, I'd rather not have the operation. And then I couldn't understand it. They told me that I could go back home, and if I would take chiropractic treatments, it wouldn't hurt me. That was massage, manipulation, and I'm still alive today. And
did you take the treatments?
Their treatment?
No, the chiropractic treatment.
Yes, I have been.
Did it do you any good?
Well, it's, let me put it this way. It's relieved me, and I'm still alive. Let's put it that way.
You mean you wouldn't be alive if you didn't go to the chiropractor?
No.
No, the medical doctors told him the chiropractor would kill him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. But I say if you did not...
Right, and they said there was 50-50 chance that I would be paralyzed or I would be okay. So
all right.
I took the other chance that...
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm still living.
Are you paralyzed?
No, I'm certainly not.
Uh-huh.
And I go religiously once a week, and I'm still walking around and...
You go to the service station once a week and get your maintenance work.
I beg your pardon?
You go to the service station once a week and get your maintenance work.
That's right.
You know, I think that this gentleman brings up a very important point. One of the greatest disservices that the medical profession does to the public is to lie to them about chiropractic care. And these are deliberate lies. They take a case that they can't help themselves, and they say, if you go to a chiropractor, he'll kill you. This is a deliberate, outright lie that has only one purpose, keeping that patient and his dollars in their pocket. And I think it's a filthy, rotten game they're playing with the lives and the health of the American people. That's why I'm so mad at this whole medical world.
Do you know, you've been attacking the medical people all night.
But not nearly strongly enough.
And I am going to, and I did not plan on this, I am going to seek out someone to that listen to the program, to be on the program and...
I know you've
give
had
them
many
equal
medical
time.
doctors on many times before.
Right.
They've had more than equal time. As a matter of fact...
No,
the American medical
the only equal
profession-
time I'm concerned about is the attacking time. And
Oh,
I have never
I have no
heard
objection.
the attack on the chiropractor until the night that you had Dr.
really?
Schreiber on the air.
Oh, on
This
the
is on the
air.
air.
Want me to hang on now?
And what's that, please?
I'm sorry. Do you want me to hang on?
Well, if you're through, thank you very
They
much.
told me I had rheumatoid spondylitis, and that's the reason I wanted to call, because
You had rheumatoid...
living,
Spondylitis.
and I'm still walking around.
Are you in pain?
I beg your pardon?
Are you in pain?
Well, if I go religiously, like I say, once a week, I'm in some pain, but not very much. But it relieves the pain, and thank God that it relieves the pain. So I'm willing to spend that money to relieve the pain. But
May I ask you what it costs you a week?
I beg your pardon?
How much does it cost you every week?
$2. And if I'd
How many?
the operation, God knows what it cost me, and
How much did you say?
$7.
$7.
Yes, sir.
Could I ask you a
Is that
question?
an average price, Doctor?
I would say probably yes. But I would like to know whether this gentleman would advise other people with rheumatoid spondylitis to go to a chiropractor.
Oh, I certainly would.
I think there's the answer.
Certainly would. I've, like I said, I didn't say it was a cure, but it's a heck of a good relief.
Thank you for calling.
Very,
Thank you
very
so much.
Grateful for it, too.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes,
could I speak to the doctor?
the doctor's listening. Go ahead.
I would like to, I have a question, I have two.
Go ahead.
I have a granddaughter here with a curved spine. Could they do anything for her?
I don't really know. Sometimes these curves have become permanent. Of course, if you do nothing about it, there's a good chance it'll get worse. And one of the things that chiropractic might be able to do for her is to prevent this condition from getting worse.
Now, she had it about 3 years. At least she was put in a cast and stayed up about nearly 2 years.
I have never seen that procedure work. It's used very commonly by the medical profession. I have never seen it work.
Never seen it work.
No, I think that chiropractic is a much better answer.
She's 16 now.
Well, it may already be much too late to try and straighten things out. But if we can now stop it from getting worse, I think that would be a great step to take.
Okay, now the next question is,
Yes.
I have a little fight out of the hospital this year, and the doctor examined me and said I had a bad heart, but he couldn't detect it on his instrument, only through that other instrument.
The cardiograph?
Yeah, cardiac.
Uh-huh.
Now, would chiropractor do that?
Well, there is no doubt at all that everybody who has a bad heart should be under chiropractic care. If we can restore the health of that body, raise the level of your resistance, there's first a good chance that the heart condition can heal, and secondly, we're again reducing any chance it might have of getting worse. I would say definitely you should be under chiropractic care, and definitely the health of your body not might, but must improve as a result of the chiropractic care.
And another question, my wife has a little high blood pressure.
Yes. Well, you understand that high blood pressure is merely a symptom that the body is not working right.
Yes.
And what a chiropractor wants to do is to get that body working right again.
Uh-huh.
Once it does, there's a good chance the pressure will go down and maintain a good level.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You may not be right, but I'll tell you, you have an answer every time.
Funnily enough, it's the same answer, Don. There
Yes,
is only
you're
one answer.
persistent.
Yeah,
you
and
you
consistent.
tell
Yeah.
every individual to go to the
I tell you,
chiropractor.
frankly, I think that anybody having heard about chiropractic and knowing what it is would have to be plain stupid not to keep his body under chiropractic care.
But do you realize that these fellows are going to have, the chiropractors locally will have to spend some more money in hiring the Brinks truck to carry that money to the bank every week
Actually,
after?
what they will have to do,
Excuse me, here's my...
what they will have to do is send all of their patients out to chiropractic colleges to learn to become chiropractors and meet the need. That would be
Right.
great.
Okay, let's make a break. Our guest on this evening's program, Dr. Reginald Gold of Spring Valley, New York. Do you travel all over the world, Doctor?
All over the
speaking-
world is kind of a big place. I've been
I
in
mean-
many countries, yes.
Speaking on chiropractic.
This coming year, I'll be speaking in France, in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, as well as the United States.
Don't your patients miss you when you...
I hope so, but I do have some very competent associates who take care of the practice while I'm not there.
They believe as strongly as you do?
Yeah, it's not even a matter of belief. They practice.
Oh, this sounds like a
chiropractic.
religion to me. Let me
But
tell
it
you.
isn't. You know, if a bone goes out of place, whether you believe it or not, it will interfere with nerves, and that will make you ill. whether you believe it or not, is totally immaterial. When you correct the pressure on the nerve, the body will heal. Whether you believe it or not is totally immaterial.
All right, let's go to a caller. Good evening. Yes.
I probably can talk to him. Ask him if he ever heard of a bone setter Reese from Youngstown that used to be quite a fella for fixing ball players and anybody. They came from all over the country.
Yes, I did hear of bone setter Reese. Yep.
You did?
Yes, I did.
I know. My grandfather, I was just a kid. We went down there in a car about 40 years ago, probably, and he had fell on the ice and ripped a knee out, or thought he'd ripped a knee out, and the doctors around here told him that it was cartilage damage, and he was on crutches, and he went down, and of course I was a small boy, probably about 10, 11, something like that. Stayed outside in the car. My mother took her father in, and he went in on crutches, of course, and the doctor had him felt his knee, and he said, there's nothing wrong with your knee. He says, take your shirt off. So he had him take his shirt off, and he pushed something up between his shoulder blades, or a little lower, my mother said, on the, on the spine. And then he told him that, he said, you don't have to use them crutches. And my grandfather was a practical man. And he says, well, if it's all right with you, doctor, he says, I'll take your word for it. He says, after I see that it works, won't try to stand on that without my crutches. When I can find out I can, he says, then I'll do it. But he could do it. He had put whatever it was in back that was causing that knee to kick out on him. Would you have any idea of what that nerve would be? You probably do.
Oh, sure. Of course, I can't say which nerve it was, but it's obvious that what he was doing was a chiropractic adjustment, restoring nerve supply.
Push something on the spine there.
Right, restore nerve supply.
My grandfather had fell, see, and he probably had pulled a nerve out of place from that spinal
he knocked the bone out of place, and the bone irritated the nerve.
Yeah, so probably straightened it up right there.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sure.
Bye. I was told
he must have believed an awful lot.
Bone setter Reese.
Yes.
You say you have heard of him?
I've heard the name, yes.
Oh, and you know nothing about his background?
Only that this is almost part of the American legend. I'm not an American. I was not born over here.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I shouldn't say I'm not an American. I am an American. I'm not a native-born American. I was born in Europe. And
what country?
In England.
England?
Yeah, I was born in England.
Oh, I see there.
Yes, limey, don't you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I have heard of this bone setter Reese. Yeah, as part of the American.
I was told to ask you this.
Yes.
Do you believe strongly in daily exercise, bodybuilding, and things like that?
I believe in health. Now, health would, of necessity, include exercise, not necessarily so-called bodybuilding. I don't believe that a healthy person is a muscle man, necessarily. Jogging is one of the great exercises of the world, particularly for the heart and lungs. No, I don't. I do exercise, though not nearly as much as I should. Like so many others, I'm on the run, and I'll tell you quite frankly, when I say on the run, I mean it. I'm working 16, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week.
When I called you to set up this
Very simple. I'm on my way to Oregon to give a lecture, and this just happens to be a stop on the way to Oregon. And after talking with you, I made arrangements to stop in Chicago and give another one on the way to Oregon.
Okay. Good evening.
Hello. I'd like to ask the doctor.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes. He's listening. Go ahead.
Hello. I'd like to ask the doctor how he would treat a baby.
He's listening. Turn your radio off, please.
How he would treat a baby with spina bifida.
Gently. Now, let me emphasize again that a chiropractor does not treat a case of spina bifida. It is our job to make sure that every baby has a good nerve supply. Now, spina bifida is something you're born with. This is a congenital deformity. And, of course, I'm accepting your word for the diagnosis temporarily. Yes. It's something you're born with that may be relatively unimportant. I happen to have one myself. Mm-hmm. And it didn't even keep me out of the paratroops.
Yes.
It may
you
be
had one what?
a spina bifida. I have I have a spina bifida. I was born with a spina bifida.
A spinal bifida is what?
It's a hole in the spine.